What's up, witches?
What's up, witches?
I'm Linda.
And I'm John.
And
although we should be saying that opposite if we're going to go alphabetical.
Yes, because J does come before L.
Well, not in a good day. In a good day, L comes before J.
Multiple times. But anyway.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I just tried to rub my eyes and put my fingers over my glasses. Okay. So.
Should we start that over?
No, we will not start over. Our people love our silliness and off the cuff kind of stuff.
So today we are talking about
Litha.
Litha.
Or Litha.
Or as my Google pronunciation translation thing pronounce it, Leah. Don't know where the fuck that came from.
It's not related to Star Wars,
no.
Unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Although, I mean, I guess maybe it could be. Anyway, so Litha, based on Roman enunciation.
Sure.
Yeah. Also known as midsummer or summer solstice. Well, definitely summer solstice. I'm not sure I really get the midsummer part because isn't June 21st like the first day of summer?
According to the, what calendar we follow right
Gregorian.
now? Gregorian, okay. But you also have to remember there were previous calendars before that.
Yes.
So I think it was the Julian calendar that it was actually the midpoint of summer, which is why it's called midsummer. That's you,
yes,
not me.
Sorry. Okay, but still, like the first day of summer being the midsummer.
Well, no, it's not the first day of summer though. The first day of summer would have actually been pretty much around Beltane.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, they are ancients. Love bonfires.
Yes,
there are bonfires in this one too.
Yeah.
Litha is one of the 8 high holy days of the year. That does not include not sabbats, because sabbats are...
These are the sabbats.
No, I'm talking
You're talking about the
Esbats.
The Esbats.
Esbats. So there's sabbats and esbats. The esbats are based off the moon.
Yes, the full moons. The sabbats are the solar days.
And
I find it interesting.
They have to do with growth and harvest and planting and
the whole cycle of the.
Yeah.
But I find it interesting that there are 8 sabbats, solar holidays, but there are 13 esbats.
Yes. Well, I mean, if
lunar
lunar esbats. So I recognized that pretty early on in my initial research and training and initiation into Wicca. And, I mean, well, it's based on the moon. There are 12 full moons.
13.
There are 13 full moons each year.
Yes.
So, if they based the days off of the lunar cycle, they would be much, much longer, but then it wouldn't match up with the actual days.
Well, no.
And
because if they actually
But there were 13 full moons.
Yes.
Bottom line, 13 full moons.
Yes.
And 13 holidays associated with the full moon.
With the full moon, yes. But there are only 8 for the sun.
But the solar festivities and holidays are centered mostly around the rejuvenation of the sun, the bringing of life, spring, and husbandry. That's
mating of animals.
Animals, yes. The birth of different herds and breeds. And then the harvest.
Okay.
they mostly represent the harvest with vegetables and agriculture, but
Yes.
there is also the harvest of
The animals.
yes.
Or the culling of the curd, so to speak. Culling of the herd.
Culling.
The culling of the herd. Not the culling of the curd.
Although the curd is pretty good if you want to make cottage cheese and sour cream and other things. So, what?
I was just thinking, Wisconsin cheese curds are pretty good.
They are, and they have fried curds now.
Yeah, I know.
Not necessarily Wisconsin, so, yeah.
Well, I was talking about, because we go to Culver's every so often.
Oh, yeah, they love their cheese curds there.
Yes, they do. And their stuff is
Supposedly from Wisconsin. Yes, okay.
But anyway, moving on. When does this particular Sabbath occur?
It's the longest day of the year, shortest night of the year, and it symbolizes the sun's peak power and the beginning of summer, even though summer is already well established at that point.
Mm-hmm. When does it occur?
Between June 21st and June 24th. In reality, between June 21st and, well, at least in my lifetime, I am 56 years old. I do not recall let me start over. I do not recall in my lifetime, since I have been keeping track of the solstices, that it happened before, or no, excuse me, it happened after the 23rd. I do not recall a summer solstice happening on the 24th. It doesn't mean it didn't happen in my lifetime. I'm sure somebody, if they have lots of extra time, knowing my birthday is September 17th, 67, they will find if it happened. But anyway, the colors associated with the Sabbath are the Sabbath Litha are gold, red, orange, green, yellow, and blue. Now,
I mean, all of that kind of makes sense because it's the middle of summer.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got the gold, red, and orange.
Yes.
That makes total fucking sense. The sun in its peak.
Okay,
and
but
it's different horizons for rising and
gold,
setting.
Red, orange, yellow, yes. Green and blue, though. Where do most people like to spend their time during summer?
At a lake.
Or the ocean.
Or the ocean.
Which is green or blue.
Or camping.
Or camping in the forest, which is hopefully green.
And there is, depending on where and what forest, there is blue. Well, there's blue. I don't give a fuck about a lake. But the Kentucky bluegrass.
Oh, okay.
The pastures, so to speak.
I'm sorry,
prairies.
I wasn't thinking about Kentucky.
No, I was just thinking. Well, they are. Yes. What the fuck? ABG, go away.
Oh.
What?
Hold on a second. I mean, you deal with that. I gotta deal with this.
Why did that just suddenly fucking pop up?
I do not know.
Anyway, so it's the colors associated with Litha, which would also affect the candles. So, depending on the spell you were trying to do, these colors would be extra special powerful with the candles you decide to use if you were doing candle magic during Litha, which I highly recommend, and we will be doing. But again, gold, red, orange, green, yellow, and blue. The crystals and gems associated with Litha are emerald, again green, jade, green, tiger's eye, gold.
Yellow, gold.
Yeah.
Amber.
Amber. Now, The big thing about the big thing about amber I have found, and we got I got a couple pieces of the beads from my mom, and you happen to get the whole fucking bag.
What? She offered them.
Yes, when she offered them to me, it was like, well, if you want to take a couple, but I'm going to make stuff out of it and do bracelets and necklaces and blah, 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 blah. And she bought other things and other things and other things. And a year and a half went by and nothing happened with them. And then all of a sudden she wants to get rid of them. And offers first dibs to who? To who?
To me.
First dibs. Now, at least a third of the amber beads in a, how shall I describe this little baggie for Gen X that they would understand? An eighth baggie or an overly stuffed quarter baggie. About this big. The Ziploc is up here. Full of little fucking amber beads. There were so many inclusions.
Yes.
Now, an inclusion is when, let's say, a giant clump of amber tree sap dropped down and covered 3 ants, a mosquito, and whatever else was there.
Or an air pocket developed.
100 million years later, we find this amber clump, and they create little balls of amber with it. And within the amber are all these little inclusions: a flea, a mosquito,
air bubble,
a fly. The big thing that was a couple years ago, a feather from a dinosaur. Like, there was a big enough piece of amber that...
A feather from a dinosaur.
Yeah, not a bird, because there weren't really birds.
No.
650 million years ago, or whatever the fuck it was.
What the birds...
But the dinosaurs had feathers, and there was a piece of feather. So, yeah, there was shit like that in all of... And she gave them all to you. Literally. I'm not jealous.
I have to believe that part of it is because, for one thing, I am her oldest son's girlfriend. But also, I share the same first name.
My mother's name is Linda. Your name?
Linda.
My father's name... Oh, no. My name is John.
My father's name was John.
John.
And I have to say was, because my dad passed away in 2021.
Right before, or right as we were getting together. So I did not actually get to meet him.
No.
Or her.
Or my mom, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Because they passed away within 12 days of each other.
Which is, I mean, that's a reasonable, I mean, if... Look, based on what you've told me, your mom was committed to him, but not all about him. However, he was not only committed to her, he was all about her.
Yes.
Your mother was his life. And the fact that they passed within weeks of each other just kind of solidifies that. And maybe even showed that he was more, because he passed first, he was more a part of her being and existence more than she let on. Because there's much, I'm not going to get into, I'm not putting your shit out there, but there has been discussion about who went first and why, and
Well, I mean, it's...
and who loved who more.
Well, no, it's not even about who loved who more. It's that it happened the way it needed to happen. Because if it had happened the opposite, if Mom had gone first and my sisters and I had had an opportunity to have a relationship with Dad apart from her, when he passed,
It would have been a lot harder.
it would have crushed us all beyond
I get
survival.
that. I don't agree with the beyond survival, but I get the sentiment. I get it.
He set us up for survival.
He was a good man. And she was a good woman in her own way. You roll your eyes the way I roll my eyes about mine. Anyway, the crystals and gems are emerald, jade, tiger's eye, amber, and the herbs associated with Litha are recommended to be used during the solstice are mugwort, honeysuckle, lavender, chamomile, wild thyme, cinnamon, and ginger, which cinnamon is also really good for the beginning of the month.
Yes.
Now, the flowers associated with Litha are sunflowers, daisy, yarrow, calendula, and chamomile. All very, they're kind of, even if they're little tiny little daisy-looking flowers, they're the sunlight there trying to soak up this, especially sunflowers.
Well, they're very. I mean, every single one of these flowers has just that happy, optimistic feel to them.
Yeah, definitely.
If you've ever sat with any of these flowers, and if you ever get a chance to, I suggest you do it. Just sit with them. You don't even have to say anything. You don't have to look for anything. Just sit with them. They will teach you. They will tell you what they're about. But they all have that happy, sunny disposition.
Right, yeah. It is thought that the etymology of Litha comes from the etymology.
No.
Etymology.
Etymology.
That's what I did not have an N in there.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not.
Okay.
Anyway, the etymology of Litha comes from Old English and Anglo-Saxon calendar. We were discussing that before we did this recording, which is where that little conflict came from, because she thought she heard me say entomology when I did not say entomology. I said etymology. Anyway, no, I do not. Whatever. Old English and Anglo-Saxon calendar, and is related to the word
Leah. That's how my translation program pronounced it. Leah.
Leah. L-I, a B and a P together. A, which means calm or gentle. Princess Leia was calm and gentle? I don't think so.
No, it's not. It's not
It said Leah.
Leah, not Leia.
She out-nerded me. You're a nerd too.
Yes, I am. Leia was fierce.
Yes, she was. Now,
and capable.
It also represents, or the name represents the month of June. Apparently,
okay.
According to
Sure.
Anglo-Saxon roots. Litha has its roots in ancient agricultural societies that heavily relied on the sun for their livelihoods. The festival marks the peak of the sun's power and the longest day of the year, which we already know.
Right. The shortest night of the year.
Yeah. The traditions of Litha appear to be borrowed from many cultures, and in reality, most ancient cultures celebrated the summer solstice in some way.
In some way. Because that's not, like, ambiguous or anything.
No, I mean, not at all. There's fucking dozens of ancient cultures. The Celtic mythology, or rather, in Celtic mythology, they associate Litha with the Oak King, representing the waxing of the sun. Bonfires were lit during Litha to honor the sun's strength and ensure abundant harvests. Harvests. Shut up. The Celts celebrated Litha with the hilltop bonfires dancing.
They sure love their bonfires.
Now, isn't this where we got it confused with the Yule?
So,
what's the Yule? The Oak. He's not the Oak King because the Oak King is here.
Well, no. During the solstices, there is a battle between the Oak King and the Holly King.
Holly King.
The Holly King wins here because from this point, the sun starts to wane.
The days get shorter and the nights get longer.
Yes.
And at Yule,
the Oak
King wins and the days start getting... So
longer.
We had it reversed with Yule. And we'll do another Yule because as we progress and grow and our understanding grows...
Yes.
Did
you just...
I just took a piece of hair. Our conversational knowledge will change and grow. In Norse traditions, the solstice was celebrated with bonfires, feasts, ceremonies dedicated to Freyr, the fertility god. Gee, I wonder why.
Mm-hmm.
Other European traditions included setting large wheels on fire and rolling them down a hill. That sounds like a bunch of fucking teenagers.
Into a body of water.
That sounds like a bunch
totally
of fucking
bunch of
teenagers. Like, Jinx, you owe me a Coke or a blowjob. One of the two. Your choice. Yeah, I'll take that. But that definitely sounds like a bunch of fucking teenagers. Like there are fucking YouTube videos right now of assholes like taking a tire that is as big as them and pushing it down this ginormous fucking hill somewhere in Europe, probably Ireland. And it just fucking goes down and then just wipes somebody out that's at the bottom of the hill. Like,
well,
they don't set it on fire, but it's the same fucking thing.
But, and here's the thing. Even in American culture, like have you ever read the books by Joe Hill?
No.
You know who Joe Hill is?
No.
He is Mr. Stephen King's son.
Okay.
So he has a book called Horns. And there is a particular chapter where it talks about a character going down a hill into a lake naked in a shopping cart.
He was probably hanging out with the guys from Dumbass or what was that? MTV? Jackass. Yeah.
But this brings to mind like that kind of thing. That's totally a teenager thing.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. That's
rolling a blazing wheel down. Yeah, that's a teenager.
That's a teenager.
So the Oak King, who represents daylight, rules from the winter solstice, Yule, to Litha. Right. During this time, the days steadily get longer. However, during Litha, the Holy King, the Holly King, 2 L's, the Holly King wins the battle and the days steadily get shorter. For modern pagans, Litha is a day of inner power and brightness. Some use the sacred herbs as an incense, which they would be really good if you look at the herbs again. Combining them for a homemade incense to use for the day's events or rituals. Some people find a quiet spot and meditate about the light and dark forces of the world. as the first official day of summer, light and life are all around us. Meditate in the sun, welcome its light, warmth, and power into your life.
But again, is it actually the first day of summer?
It's not, but in terms of the festival, it is the brightest day.
But one of its names is midsummer, which means it would be the midpoint of summer.
But still the brightest day of the year. So meditate in the sunlight. I'm not disputing the accuracy or inaccuracy of the statement of it being the first day of summer. I did not create that.
I know. What calendar are we going off of?
We already talked about that.
But the one before the Gregorian
So,
was...
Others, particularly those with children, celebrate this holiday outside in various creative ways.
Unless, of course, you're in Arizona. Because who wants to be outside in Arizona
Unless you're at like midnight.
Or unless you're in Flagstaff or Prescott.
Camping early in the morning or early morning camping, an early morning picnic to either watch the sunrise on the longest day of the year, making homemade batch of lemonade. For adults, some dandelion wine.
Ooh. We need to try that.
I'm down with trying some dandelion wine.
We need to find some dandelions.
Planting new life in your garden or yard. Just
that's
make
not going to happen
time
here.
for play, including dancing, laughing, and s'mores. S'mores. I mean, added the H.
We could definitely find time to play.
And still, some observers choose to observe Litha more traditionally. They'll hold a fire ritual, which would include a large bonfire or small fire in a fire-safe pot in their home, making flower crowns for the ladies, charging your tools in the sun, charging crystals. But be careful.
Yes.
You know, any crystals that have color, citrine, rose quartz, amethyst. I mean, even.
Well, if it's quartz based.
Well, pretty much all crystals are quartz based.
But
pretty much all crystals are quartz based. Aventurine,
yes. Aventurine, amethyst,
smoky quartz,
citrine. Well, yeah, smoky quartz, rose quartz. Those ones will fade, but I'm talking about like sodalite, malachite. Those ones might not necessarily fade.
Well, they won't fade as much, but if you put anything in the sun long enough, it will bleach it out.
Well, yeah, but if you just leave it out there for like an hour or two, it's fine.
That's the point in what I'm trying to say. Don't leave it out for very long.
Yes.
Be cautious, because the sun will bleach out whatever the fuck you put out there. Perhaps because of the longer days allowed for extra time in the day after chores were completed, that gave the youth of the time the ability to pursue romantic engagements or entanglements, or the abundance of life and new birth at the time just gave way to the youth. I mean, we're animals. We are ultimately animals.
But let's look at this, though. I mean, back in the day, back in that time of day, back in that day, what were your responsibilities?
Take care of whatever food that we have going on, the farm animals.
But if you were...
Defend the village.
Okay, but if you had, like, let's say if
everything was going good.
Let's say if you wanted to be a blacksmith,
well,
what was your day like? What would your day be like?
Finding ore, if it wasn't already there, and...
For how many hours?
Daylight.
But then after daylight?
It was party time. They did. They would feast. They would...
Yes, but like if basically like the young ones, they learned for a little bit. Once you were old enough to take on an apprenticeship, you spent a certain amount of time each day,
Right.
doing your apprenticeship.
Well, that's what I was
But then,
saying.
yeah, but that's what I was trying to get at. Was like,
The extra time, because of the longer hours of the day, would allow for romantic
entanglements.
like Wallace.
Huh?
Braveheart. I mean, some of that
Never
story.
saw it.
Some of that story was based on truth.
I never saw it.
Either way, Litha is considered a good time to practice love magic, and or to get married.
So,
The pagan version of the ceremony is called hand fasting. And
yes,
includes many of the same practices one might find at a traditional wedding, believe it or not.
yes. Well, and here's the difference between Beltane and Litha is that at Beltane, that is when you would start the test marriage
Yeah, which I never got, but okay.
of a year and a day.
Right. But
But if
a
you
year
just,
and a day from Beltane would not be Litha the following year.
well, no. But if you decided you wanted to stay together, then at Litha, you would make it official, and you would go through the ceremony of being bound together
Did it not?
forever.
Did it stop?
No, it didn't stop. It's still
Okay.
going.
But it was black. Not that that's a bad thing. Should I tell the joke I heard today?
No. No. And by the way, if you're wondering why my voice sounds a little bit deeper than normal, it's because I have a cold. Okay? Don't even.
You sure it wasn't because you... What?
I have a cold. Did you just blow smoke at me?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway. Yeah, I have a little bit of a cold.
She wouldn't let me blow it in her mouth. I tried to blow you. Litha, baby.
Coming up next.
It's
terms
Japanese, isn't it?
Well,
Oh, in terms of
in
this.
terms of the
Yes.
Wheel of the Year, we have Lammas, also known as Lunasa, happening on August 1st.
That will be happening like the third. We're going to be doing a video on it like the third week of July.
Yeah.
Around there.
Between now and then, we are going to be
Well, we have the
packing and moving.
Aztec.
Well, yes, we have the Aztec.
We're going to be
Doing-
doing what movie?
Packing and moving.
Oh, yes, we're packing and moving. Yeah, it's literally coming down to, well, it's like a month away. And what's really interesting, and we've mentioned this in the videos before, but like no place will really talk to us until we're 21 days out.
But we have to give,
30 to 60 days notice.
well, actually, it's 60 to 90 days notice that we're moving out. But if you want to move in, you have to be within 21 days
of the move-in date.
of your move-in date.
Which is absurd. If I have to tell you 60 days out, but no place will talk to us until we're 21 days out. That's a full 2/3.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's designed to set in a little bit of a fucking panic mode.
Oh, yeah. No, not even a little bit of panic. You're in panic mode.
Well, we're not, but I mean.
Well, no, we're not, because we are doing what we need to do.
But I don't see how, honestly, the average person.
I really wish we could just buy a piece of land and build our forever home on it.
Yeah, And I would like to do something Grandma Skinner did.
I remember you telling me about that.
Boarding house.
Yes.
Set of rules. They were stringent for the time, but necessary.
Yes.
They would still apply today.
Yes.
No women, no drinking, no loud music. I mean, these were her fucking rules. No overnight guests.
Okay.
Like it was, and they like did well. He bought a restaurant. Churches, not churches. It was a fish and chips place, an English fish and chips. Like, what's that?
Well, here we have Pete's.
Well, no.
Oh, Long John Silver's?
Yes.
Mm.
Like it was actually from the story that I was told when I was a kid. The chain was associated with, or Long John's bought he had like 3 or 4 restaurants with somebody else, like another dude, and it was up in northern Florida, like Tallahassee, and don't put it back on.
No, I wasn't going
air.
to. No, I wasn't going to. Just gonna show you. Look how.
It's much better.
Yes.
I'm telling you, by Tuesday it'll be just leave the Band-Aid out.
Huh. I put comfrey salve on it though.
We love you though. Hope you. Excuse me. I did take a hit, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you got some ideas on what to do as a family. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, literally the good old-fashioned fucking American fucking s'mores with your kids. That would be, because there's a bonfire, a little bonfire.
Yes, if you're a family.
Yeah, as a family.
If you're a single person, I mean, you're welcome to
set the house on fire. Just set the whole bitch ablaze. Have a chair, have a bucket of water and the hose going, some marshmallows, and a 12-pack of Corona and a bottle of tequila. Just watch the whole fucking place go down.
I was gonna say go take a nature walk and maybe find somebody to hook up with, but okay.
Oh, well, there's that too. That sounds like it could be more fun. Well, I don't know if it'd be more fun or adventurous. I mean, we are talking about burning everything down. Anyway.
Peace out, witches.
Happy Litha. We love you. Thank you for watching, and we appreciate you. Whether you subscribe or not, like or not, we appreciate you.
And if you're in the part of the world where it matters, Happy Father's Day.
Oh, yeah.
That's tomorrow here in the States.
Happy Father's Day, Dad. I miss you. I'm sorry I didn't really get to know you. Peace out, witches. Okay. I'm not finding the motherfucker. Motherfucker.